It's the first execution that's taken place in Georgia in 4 years. Pye was convicted of murder and rape. He was accused and convicted of raping and murdering his girlfriend, Alicia Lynn Yarbrough. And what we've seen over the last 30 years, 31 years, has been an attempt by his attorney, his entire legal team, in fact, to get clemency. One of the big arguments, maybe the biggest argument that his legal team made was the man was intellectually disabled. He had an IQ that was far below what the IQ of a person who should be executed should be. And yet this man, 59 years old, was executed through lethal injection tonight. I'm waiting for final confirmation from the prison, but what we know is that the Supreme Court rejected his last attempt at clemency, his last appeal. Not just the Supreme Court didn't reject his clemency; they rejected his appeal. The governor wouldn't give him clemency, and as a result, we're sitting here right now with this person executed. And despite having an IQ of 68, from a series of mental health evaluations, this isn't hearsay, this isn't from his lawyers. This is from independent people. They've decided that despite having an IQ of 68, he can still be executed. This speaks to a bigger problem in the United States. And I know a lot of times when people talk about the death penalty, when they make a decision to defend somebody or to stand up for somebody or to protect somebody from the death penalty, they try to find the person who is innocent, right? They try to find the person who didn't do it. And they say, look, this person didn't do it. And because this person didn't do it, this is proof that the death penalty doesn't work. And I'm saying, no. We need to focus on innocent people. We need to get innocent people off of death row because nobody deserves to be on death row if they didn't do it. But there's a bigger question here, which is, does anybody deserve to be on death row? Now, the innocent person is the easy person to fight for, but what about the person who doesn't have the mental capacity? What about the person who doesn't have the mental capacity to be executed because they don't know what they're getting into? We hear stories of people with mental disability so severe that when they're given their last meal, while they're eating it, they'll say, you know what, I'll just eat it tomorrow, because they don't understand that there is no tomorrow. They don't understand that they're about to die. That also gets into what we call the mens rea, or the criminal mind while committing the crime. In other words, does the person know that they committed the crime? Do they have the means to prevent themselves from committing the crime? Do we want to convict these kinds of people? What kind of brutal nation, what kind of brutal institution do we have if we're executing people who don't even understand what they did, even if we don't like the thing? So yeah, fight for the innocent person. But if you just fight for the innocent people, you send the message that the problem might be fixable if we just get more efficient, if we just get more effective, if we just figure out how to stop the person from getting killed who didn't do it, and we only can kill the people who did do it. That's what we start to think about. But I'm saying, no, the fact that we're killing people with intellectual disabilities, they should be off the table. And if innocent people are off the table and intellectually disabled people are off the table, and then we add to the fact that as a country, we get it wrong too often. Do you know how many people, according to the Innocence Project and other outlets, didn't do it? And yet they're still on death row? So if we get the wrong person all the time, if we are brutal and inhumane by killing people who have intellectual disabilities, if it doesn't work, it doesn't stop people from killing people, right? There are states where even when they have the death penalty, the murder rate's higher. And then there's the question of moral authority? Does America have the right, after killing all those Native Americans, after a settler colonial project that wiped out all the indigenous people, after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after the Tuskegee experiment, after slavery, after Japanese internment, after all the blood has been spilled from America for centuries, do we have the moral authority to decide who lives or dies? I don't think so.